Listen closely, because this is not just a story from thousands of years ago. This is a story about you, your disappointments, your setbacks, your betrayals, and how God can transform them into the very path that leads to your destiny. Before you judge Joseph's journey, take a breath, because in many ways you are walking a version of it too. Joseph was a young man with dreams, big dreams, bold dreams, dreams that made others uncomfortable. And just like some of you watching this, the moment Joseph opened his mouth to speak about what God showed him, the people who should have supported him became the first to envy him. His own brothers hated him because of the favor God placed on his life. Have you ever noticed that sometimes the people closest to you react the strongest when God lifts you? If you understand that feeling, comment, "Lord, strengthen me so others know they're not alone." Joseph's father loved him deeply, symbolized by the famous coat of many colors. But that coat, that sign of favor, was exactly what fueled the jealousy burning in the hearts of his brothers. And one day, when Joseph went to check on them in the fields, their jealousy turned into a dangerous plan. They said, "Here comes the dreamer. Not here comes our brother. Not here comes someone we should protect. But here comes the dreamer." Meaning, here comes someone whose destiny intimidates us. Some of you know what it feels like to be misunderstood for the dreams God placed inside you. Some of you know what it feels like when people smile at you but secretly want your downfall. If you've ever felt that pain, comment, "God, protect my purpose." Joseph was attacked, thrown into a pit, betrayed by his own blood, and sold like an object to passing traders. But here is where your story and Joseph's story align. Even when humans fail you, God's plan does not fail. Even when people betray you, purpose does not stop. Even when life throws you into a pit, God sees a throne in your future. Joseph didn't know it yet. But that pit was not his ending. It was the beginning of the process God would use to elevate him beyond anything he imagined. If Joseph's beginning reminds you of your own struggles, keep watching, because the God who lifted him is still alive today. Joseph was dragged out of the pit and sold to a caravan of Ishmaelites heading toward Egypt, a land of unfamiliar people, foreign tongue, and a future he could not yet imagine. But even in chains, Joseph carried something his brothers could never take away: God's presence. And this is where many viewers will see themselves. Sometimes you lose your comfort. Sometimes you lose the people you trusted. Sometimes you lose the place you once called home. But you never lose God. If you've ever felt that kind of displacement in life, comment, "Lord, stay with me." Joseph was purchased by Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. From the outside, it looked like Joseph was sinking deeper into misfortune. But the truth? He was walking straight into divine positioning. God's favor rested on everything Joseph touched. The work of his hands prospered. And even the Egyptians noticed something supernatural about him. And here's the part you need to hear. When God is with you, even your lowest seasons can produce your greatest opportunities. Even your suffering becomes a doorway. Even your loneliness becomes training. If you believe God can turn your situation into purpose, comment, "I believe, Lord." But then came another trial, one that would test Joseph's character. Potiphar's wife tried to pull him into sin, but Joseph refused. Not because it was convenient, not because it made sense, but because Joseph feared God more than he desired comfort. And yet, doing the right thing still led him into suffering. Potiphar's wife lied. Joseph was falsely accused. And he was thrown into prison, again stripped of freedom, again misunderstood, again placed in darkness. Some of you know this part of the story all too well. You do your best. You stay faithful. You try to walk the right path. Life still hits you with betrayal, unfair judgment, and unanswered prayers. If you've ever been punished for doing what's right, comment, "Lord, give me strength." But even in prison, God did not abandon him. The Lord gave Joseph favor in the sight of the prison keeper, and soon Joseph was entrusted with responsibility again. Not because he pushed for it, but because God elevated him quietly. Sometimes God promotes you in places nobody expected you to stand. Sometimes God places light in the darkest rooms, and you become the reason the room begins to shine. Joseph began interpreting dreams for prisoners, not for attention, not for reward, but because the gift inside him could not be silenced. This is your reminder. Every season, even the painful ones, activates a purpose in you. Your gift does not disappear when life gets hard. Your calling does not expire because of setbacks. Your destiny does not die in the dark. If you're ready to hear how God will lift Joseph from the prison to the palace, a transformation that mirrors the breakthrough you have been praying for, move to the next part.